Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Thanks for joining us. We're so happy that you're here. You're listening to the best dang travel show in the entire world. A little biased here, but that's okay. I'm joined with my co-explorer, as always, Amy Long.
Hi.
And we are coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. But we're not talking about Las Vegas this time. We're going to chat about coastal Mississippi.
Coastal Mississippi.
Yeah. Coastal Mississippi. It sits right, if you are in Louisiana and New Orleans, it's about an hour to the east, right over the border. That's where coastal Mississippi starts. And we call it that because it's three counties that have like all joined up under the same tourism umbrella to promote the area. Okay. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place that oftentimes I think it's underrated. I think it's really underrated as far as like when we talk about beaches and coastal towns, a lot of people's minds instantly go to places like Florida and things like that. But I think this place right here in Mississippi really should get a focus. It at least should come up on your list of places. Like if you're going to be in the southern part of the United States and you're looking for great beach towns to go explore, great places with history, science, sports, and of course the food down there. Oh, yes. Then this area should be on your radar. And so we're going to hopefully shed a little light on the area. And there's a reason. It's often called the secret coast.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it really does. It just flies under that radar of conventional places to visit. Have you ever been to the area?
I have personally not stayed there, but I have driven through the area.
Oh.
But I remember when we lived in Texas near Houston, this is where people would often go for their beach getaway, is over to Gulfport, Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot about it. I've driven through, but I've never had the opportunity to stay and hang out. But you were just there.
Yeah, I was invited on a press trip, and it was a wonderful experience. And so this is kind of a part of that. Yeah, I wanted to chat about it, but in no way is it, this is not bought and paid for. These are just my own opinions about places I got to go when I was down there. And so I want you to know that every place we talk about is somewhere that I at least visited a little bit. And, like I was saying, it's these three counties, but it's a makeup of about 12 coastal cities. You mentioned Gulfport, and there's places like Biloxi and Bay St. Louis that are kind of, I guess, the more well-known areas. And maybe if you've ever heard of Pascagoula.
I have. I've driven through Pascagoula.
Once you hear the name, you'd never forget it. Once I wrote it down, it stays in your memory, right? So the most important thing, let's kick off like how to get there. Where is, like I said, right over the border between Louisiana and Mississippi. It's 62 miles of pristine beaches. And they've overcome a lot in the last couple of decades. It would be remiss to not mention the rebuild that's happened. They're fully, up and going and all of that good stuff. But they've come back from a lot, especially in the last couple of decades, starting with like Hurricane Katrina in 2005. That was so devastating to the entire Gulf Coast area. And then just a couple of years later, when they had almost gotten full back going on strong from that experience, was the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. In 2010.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just one punch after the other, but like this area has come back even stronger. And I'm telling you, it's one of these cute little places. Like every little city is like we call them a golf cart.
Golf cart communities?
Golf cart communities, man. Because number one, parking is a premium.
Oh, right.
Parking is a premium, but like the people that live there and stay there and even vacation there or whatever, you most of the time you're going to be in a golf cart and you're just cruising through the streets, man, and you just park wherever there's grass. So
can you rent golf carts there?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes
If you don't have your own, they do have a few areas where you can rent golf carts. Or, it's these little towns like this are so walkable.
Yeah.
Too. I know in Bay St. Louis where I stayed my first night, their downtown, they call it Old Town. And it's, little streets and all these businesses and restaurants are right there within the community. And you can walk, everywhere.
That's
and
nice.
It feels safe. There's plenty of light. There's plenty of, activity going on. Very popular areas, by the way. I mean, live music in every venue, which is kind of something I miss about, those small towns. And we grew up on the coast in smaller towns, and those Friday and Saturday nights, you're out there rocking and rolling, man. And it's a lot of fun. It's so this is kind of one of those where to stay, where to play, and where to eat kind of episodes. And so let me kick it off with some places to stay, because that's the first thing you're going to do after you get off at the airport at the what was the airport there? The Biloxi Gulfport International Airport. It's a huge international airport. I think they have 2 terminals, two gates.
Or you drive in on the highway. Huh?
You can drive in if you're already in the South. Interstate 10 that goes from coast to coast here in the U.S. You can hop right on there, and it's right off the interstate there. But most of the time, you're either going to fly into New Orleans and drive, or you're going to fly into the Biloxi Gulfport Airport and rent a car. That's the best way to get around, is renting a car, because they do have reliable transportation. But if you're not from the area, it's probably best to just rent a car. And then if you can get to a golf cart. When
you get to the golf cart communities, you ride a golf cart. But
just
to
leave
get from
the car.
town to town, you drive.
That's exactly it. So good places to stay. I stayed at the Pearl. The Pearl Hotel in Bay St. Louis it's considered a boutique hotel, and it's got 59, and it's all suites. But it's a beautiful, beautiful hotel that everyone knows. It's been there for years, and it's just kind of one of those centerpieces to Old Town in Bay St. Louis that just, you walk by it and you see people just stopping and taking pictures of, because it's like that's old Southern architecture, and you see people just out on the balcony, and there's nearby bars and restaurants that have the live music. Yeah. So you see just people just sitting out there enjoying the music, it's right on the marina. So you got the water going in the background.
So
and the
you got
music
a nice
cabinet.
view, a nice atmosphere, and a nice room if they're all suites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm a little jealous now. I didn't go.
Oh yeah, same. I did get to go with our friend John Clark. He met me over there. He lives pretty close to the area. So we got to go around and photograph and do some, fun activities and everything.
And share a suite.
Another place in nearby Ocean Springs is the Gulf Hills Hotel and Resort. Gulf Hills is probably best known. It sits right off of a golf course, even though it's not commercially connected to the golf course. It sits right on this golf course. It's most famous for on the property years ago. They used to have bungalows. And Elvis Presley used to come by all the time, and that was kind of a hangout for him. The bungalows are gone, but they took the wood and they put it, when they redid the hotel, they made an Elvis Presley suite with a lot of the old wood from these bungalows that you can rent out. It's very popular. People come and stay and have a little piece of history with, the king of rock and roll. But this hotel stretches back to the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
So it's got a lot of history, and,
for the U.S., that's a lot of history.
That's a lot of history for the U.S., yes. 100 years, a lot of history. Another good one that's really popular, I didn't get to stay at this one, but it's super popular online, The Roost, also in Ocean Springs. It's another one of these boutique hotels. Been restored. It's in walking distance of the beach in downtown Ocean Springs, which is very artsy. It's got lots of murals. You can tell everything is painted up and done to that next level. So if you like art and things, you kind of want to be situated in this
Ocean Springs,
lively part of Ocean Springs.
So is every little town kind of have its own?
It has its own little thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Ocean Springs kind of has this little art feel to it. Biloxi, Gulfport, these areas are more coastal situated, so they got the more coastal feel. And it's just kind of this, every little one, they're all connected, but they're all independent.
They all have their own personality.
You can have, there you go, their own personalities and their own distinctions.
I like that.
Yeah. So
I like going somewhere and feeling like I'm in a new place.
If you go on a vacation, you can have a bunch of little mini vacations.
Interesting.
All within driving distance, right? We're talking coastal Mississippi, all the fun, all the glamour of it all. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. As always, you can find us on fullmetaltraveler.com, all of our past episodes and interviews. I'm here with my co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
We're talking about coastal Mississippi. My voice cracked just then.
It did.
Did you
How
hear
old
that?
are you?
I'm about 13. Threw me off. We're talking about coastal Mississippi. We gave you some wonderful places you could stay once you get there. Now, let's focus on a little bit of what to do once you're settled in. The fun stuff, right? So, of course, coastal Mississippi, you're going to have your share of outdoor stuff to do. Lots of fishing, lots of hunting, and things of that nature. All your favorite things.
Oh, yeah. Love it all.
That's sarcasm, if you can't tell. It is what they call like an outdoorsman's playground, a paradise for them if you like to be outdoors. If you like bird watching and things of that nature.
Alligator watching?
They do. They have a lot of alligator, like swamp tours.
Oh.
In the area. You can do that. You joke, but I'm serious.
But you did do something pretty cool. You went on a shrimp boat, but it's not a regular shrimp boat.
Yeah, they actually have shrimp boat tours, which this particular one that I went on, I had no expectations. I just saw shrimp boat tour. I'm going to go on the shrimp boat tour. Okay, cool. I thought we were just going to just be out there fishing for shrimp or shrimping for shrimp.
What does that even look like?
I have no idea. I still to this day have no idea. But it turned into a science, almost like an educational fun journey upon the waters early in the morning, where they did drag the bottom four shrimp. And they brought up different kinds of shrimp and different kinds of fish. And the captain was very knowledgeable and walking all of us through all the different types of fish, what they were, the different types of shrimp, and their parts and how they in the ecosystem around it, how important everything is to the riverways and the waterways of coastal Mississippi, and oysters and clams and how they filter the water and different things.
Wow.
I did not know that an oyster can filter 50 gallons of water every single day.
I had no idea.
I did not know that. I know that now. And
you got a marine biology lesson, it sounds like.
I did. So it's a fun thing. So if you like science or your kids are into science, that was a really fun thing. Or even if you're just into outdoors and you want a little change of pace and you want to know about the fish that you catch or will find in these rivers and lakes that you're used to. Don't go chasing waterfalls. There you go. But there's also lots of sports. They are the home of the AA baseball team, the Biloxi Shuckers. Go Shuckers!
The Shuckers?
Yeah, the Shuckers. They.
I'm assuming that has to do with oysters, but it just.
Oh, shucks.
Do you want
not Smuckers?
Do you want a shirt that says Shuckers?
I almost bought one. Their mascot is an oyster. And it's got little eyeballs and it looks at you.
Did it run around the bases?
No, for some reason obviously they can't have a giant oyster running around. But their other mascot was like a pelican. And he did in fact run around, and it was hilarious. So John and I went there. We got club level seats. John loves baseball. John fell asleep at the baseball game. I have video of John asleep at the baseball game with everyone around us laughing at him because he was doing the Jello neck thing, bubble. And I woke him up and he smiled at me. He turned his head and then he braced his head up with his hand because he thought no one else was watching him. But I didn't notice until I looked at him and a foul ball almost hit us. And John did not move.
Oh, wow.
He didn't move his head, nothing.
Not a good place to take a nap.
I do have video of John sleeping at the game. They're the AA team for the Milwaukee Brewers, so way down there. Like I said, you can do bird watching outdoors. They also have the Paradise Pier in Biloxi, which is like this amusement park, kind of like you would find maybe in a lot of coastal towns, like in California and Long Beach and different things. And it is on this
Ferris wheel and all that stuff.
They got a Ferris wheel and all kinds of rides. Lots of fun. They also, like I mentioned earlier, they have a great art scene. Several, museums going back to hundreds of years, right? The Walter Anderson Museum of Art. Walter Anderson, if you don't know, they called him, I think his nickname was the Mad Potter of Biloxi.
Oh.
He was into ceramics, it was
Nobody's
almost
business.
criminal. Almost criminal how much he was into ceramics.
So it's a museum for pottery?
Yeah. And his family still operates it today. They still do pottery. He was back in the 1800s into the early 1900s. His grandson actually runs the Twisted Anchor Tattoo Parlor. So he is very well known. Walter and Peter Anderson were the brothers, the old grandfather brothers.
Okay.
That's a weird thing. But Matt Stebley is the guy who owns Twisted Anchor. He's very popular. Has people flying him out to get custom tattoos all the time and everything.
Interesting.
Animals. They have the Mississippi Aquarium. They have the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies. That's where you can get up close and personal with dolphins. That sounded weird. Stingray snorkeling and sea lion encounters. So kids of all ages will love that. And I mentioned the science. My favorite place that I went to was the Infinity Science Center. It's a part of NASA. It's a part of the Stennis Space Center, which is, did you know?
No, I didn't. When you told me, and I had no idea.
The Stennis Space Center is where they test all the rockets for the space.
For NASA?
Yeah, for the space missions, going all the way back to the Apollo programs. Stennis has been around since the early 60s. They have a 125,000 acre buffer zone in this area where they test fire rockets even coming up to the next Artemis missions, the ones that are going back to the moon, they first test these rockets in the science center that's near Biloxi and Gulfport, and then they put them on a barge. Once they get the okay, they put them on a barge and ship them down to Cape
Canaveral in Florida. Wow.
Where the rockets lift off for NASA.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, so they have this whole science center.
You would never think in Mississippi is where NASA tests the rockets.
Absolutely, because Houston is Space Command. That's where the command center is. That's where they talk to the rockets.
We've been there.
Stennis Space Center is where they test the rockets, and Cape Canaveral is where they fire the rockets. So, boom, it's all kind of connected right there on the waterways.
Gulf Coast, yeah.
Hey, Gulf Coast strong, boy, represents. And lots of fun. They often have the Space Center, Science Center, is 70,000 square feet of interactive exhibits, learning all about rocket propulsion, all about, the different things they find in space. And they have astronauts stop by there all the time to meet the kids and everything. But you would never know it. It's a very low key area. And that's why I feel like, people pass by on I-10 with tens of thousands of people drive by it every day and probably don't even know it's there. But it's one of these places that if you are into science or your kids are into science or grandkids are into science.
Our kids would love this.
You would love to go here. Man.
So the Stennis Space Center in southern Mississippi.
There you go. You never thought you would use those words together, right?
I did not. That's a lot of S's.
Okay. I don't know why that was so funny. I cannot spell Mississippi to save my life.
Oh, no.
When we come back, I'm going to talk to Nikki Moon, who sits on the Coastal Mississippi Tourism Board. We're going to get her favorite spots around the area. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. Be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, check us out, fullmetaltraveler.com, for all of our past episodes and interviews. We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been talking the entire episode about coastal Mississippi. Our guest today is Nikki Moon. Nikki is the former owner of the Baytown Inn. She's a longtime Bay St. Louis resident. She's also a board member of Coastal Mississippi Tourism. So she knows her stuff. Nikki, thanks so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
We have been doing our very best to describe coastal Mississippi, to get all of its, charm into these segments. But let's get it from the source here. In your opinion, what makes coastal Mississippi a unique destination for travelers?
We start at one end of the coast, the west end of the coast, with Bay St. Louis and the neighborhood town of Waveland. Then we go all the way to the eastern side of the coast with Pascagoula, which is known for a lot of eco-tourism. It's also major shipbuilding with Ingalls and Chevron. So it's a very industrial end of the coast. Between us, we've got 62 miles of coast, which I don't think anybody really has a clue. We're still kind of a hidden gem down here.
What are some of your favorite attractions or experiences that visitors and travelers can expect to find in that area?
Well, I think if you start at the east side with the beautiful town of Ocean Springs, which is so artsy, it's full of fabulous restaurants, James Beard winners, has great museums. Peter Anderson is one. He was the potter of the two Anderson brothers. Walter Anderson was the painter, and Peter Anderson is his work, I think, is overlooked, and his pottery is just beautiful. And then as you continue coming to the west, and you've got the great towns of Biloxi and Gulfport with their terrific resorts, hotels, and gambling. You could lose there, but you shouldn't lose there. There are some great spots. And then they've got some great museums too. They've got the Marine Park there. They've got an aquarium there, and the O'Keeffe Museum. So as you continue coming along the coast, and then you've got the gorgeous sand beaches. You enter into the other little towns of Long Beach, which are more like neighborhoods, and but also have still some phenomenal restaurants. And many of these chefs are local, and they have come back to their roots, and they're making some great dishes from the fish that comes right out of our waters, the shrimp, and the great fish that's coming right from here. And then you come to the bay, and of course, this is where I live, so I'm a little partial. As you went over to see 100 Men Hall, mm-hmm. which is at the beginning or the end of the Blues Trail, however you want to look at it. But a lot of great history there. Of course, we are renowned for some great restaurants here too, and some sweet little B&Bs. So I think the best part here, and one of the most unknown areas, is one that you saw, which is Infinity, which is a museum that takes you through
all of like the NASA and Apollo missions.
Exactly.
Everything flows from Stennis to this Infinity Space Center, which is so incredible.
Yes, it does. And Infinity takes you all the way through it. Every rocket that goes in the air, every one that is a NASA rocket, it is tested here at Stennis, which is right outside of Infinity. And Stennis is, I tried to remember the number when you were here, and I couldn't. I had to look it up. It is a 125,000 acre buffer zone around Stennis. So they can do all of these rocket testing. They can do training for our SEALs because there's swamps in there. It's a really cool place, and you learn so much about it when you're coming from New Orleans, just an hour away, as you mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned the interstate, and I think that's one of the pros and cons of it. People often pass by on Interstate 10, which basically stretches from coast to coast here in the United States, and they may not even know that right here in this little part of the United States in the South, that's where, like you mentioned, all of the rockets that NASA uses, all the way back to the Apollo missions, have been tested at Stennis, at this area, and then I think they're carried off on barges to Cape Canaveral, and where they're eventually launched into space. But it's such a unique little area, and at the Infinity Space Center, you can learn all about it. And they even have real life astronauts that stop in and talk to the kids, and there's tons of interactive. And you can tell where my heart is. I love stuff like that. I always have. And we were walking around.
I know, And when you see Artemis going up into space in 2025, you'll say, I was there. I was part of that. So it's really kind of cool. But that's kind of, we go from one end of the coast to the other with all of this wonderful space at one end of the coast to the shipbuilding at the other end. And then in between are all these cool little places to stop and enjoy, whether you like to play golf. We've got a lot of great golf courses, boating like crazy, fishing. You can go out to Ship Island and spend the day just taking the ferry out there. You can go on a shrimp cruise. You may have did you do the shrimp cruise?
Yes.
Couldn't remember.
I did.
Was that not great?
That was, number one, it was the first time I've ever done a shrimp cruise. I didn't know what to expect. I had no expectations for this thing. I thought it was going to be like, that time of my favorite time of the year when Red Lobster does all you can eat shrimp. I thought it was going to be that. It turned out I was 100% wrong. And we mentioned some of those, like the shrimp tour, about the lesser known gems in this area. Are there any others that you can think of that maybe fly under the radar that you would recommend?
I think sometimes people don't realize how many events that we've got going on throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And if you finish up your year here at Christmas time, you will see the boats on the water in Biloxi, which are just gorgeous. All of these beautiful boats that are lit. We have a huge festival here in Bay St. Louis with the lighting of all of our trees and Santa, of course, in a parade. And then all along the coast, Gulfport has a gorgeous, gorgeous display of lights right at their harbor. And then as throughout the year, we've got fun things going on. We have fishing rodeos. We have art festivals. We have a pirate day in the Bay here in Bay St. Louis in a couple weeks. And Mardi Gras is huge here. Mardi Gras started in Mobile. Then New Orleans kind of took it over, and we sit in between the two, and we've got Mardi Gras parades for the entire 10 days of Mardi Gras season. So we have something really for everybody throughout the year.
Oh, man, when you mentioned Mardi Gras right there, if I think everyone should go to New Orleans at least once for Mardi Gras, experience it. It's wild. As long as you're 21 and up, it's a fun time.
Of course.
But if you want all the fun with a little less of the craziness that New Orleans can offer, this is a great spot for you because, like you said, it's right between the major houses of Mobile and New Orleans where Mardi Gras really kind of takes hold, and you still get all the fun without a little bit of the zaniness that can happen in these areas. Yeah. Nikki, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for a wonderful breakfast introduction to coastal Mississippi when I was there. And I cannot wait to come back. Folks, you got to try it out. For more information, go to coastalmississippi.com. That's where you're going to find everything from itineraries. You can plan your trip, and you can get that attractions pass that we talked about. Keep it right here. We're going to have more when we come back. It's the Unscaled Travel Show.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here with my lovely and talented co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
You got a new book coming out soon.
I do.
Oh, come on, man.
It's coming out on next week.
Come on. This is like book number 18 for you or something.
Not quite, but maybe one day.
We're talking about coastal Mississippi, all the wonderful places to stay, all the wonderful things to do. And there's so much stuff that's there that, you can't possibly fit into one episode.
Yeah.
Like we're doing. I'm trying to hit the highlights, and it's it's a little difficult cramming it all into one, all these little segments and everything. But
you had a packed itinerary. You were just telling me all the different things you did. And so much stuff we haven't even talked about, but you went from one thing to another to another. It was surprising the variety of things you could do in what I just thought was a coastal beach town, like a place where people just go to lay on the beach. You didn't get to do that at all.
I didn't get to lay on the beach. I didn't, but I went with our friend John Clark. We did get to have a lot of fun, and the thing I always say I miss about the South,
the food.
Oh, such a welcome.
So tell me,
wonderfulness.
Where did you eat?
I ate so many places. I ate so many places that weren't even scheduled. Like, we just saw things and just stopped off, and we had lots of great suggestions.
Best place to do it, in my opinion. You're like, oh, what is this little hole in the wall? I want to try it.
There's too many. Obviously, there's too many to mention every single one of them. But I did break it down by a couple of breakfast spots, lunch spots, dinner, and a few nightcap places like that. Because I know people often reach out to us and ask us, like, hey, can you give us a list of where, when we list our adventures and stuff, where to eat and everything. And I like to help the people. I am a man.
You like to tell them where to eat and where to drink?
Yes, I am that guy. And there are all kinds of different places, but you know what? One of the main highlights you have to go to if you are in Bay St. Louis is the Mockingbird Cafe. That was right down the street from the Pearl where I stayed in Bay St. Louis. It was actually within walking distance, like a lot of these places are in these small communities. The Mockingbird goes back to the 1800s. It's also has a three-sided art gallery. All these places have, these tributes to art and different things going on in all these little coastal towns. Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
What'd you get there?
What did I get? I got a breakfast sandwich and coffee. I actually, I just talked to Nikki Moon. I actually met her for breakfast, and we were talking about the town. A lot of small businesses, and a lot of these small businesses are female owned.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, which is rare, I should say, but it's actually a welcome change because all of these, you see them everywhere. Not a whole lot of chains in these small towns. You're going to see mom and pop places. Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Not a lot of franchises, a lot of individually owned stores and restaurants and art galleries, as you were saying, which I'm very surprised. And I know it may sound negative, but I'm very surprised that coastal Mississippi has such a big art scene. I never would have guessed.
So many great artists come from there. It's very low key. Again, the whole area is underrated. It completely flies under the radar.
We need to change that. Everybody go to coastal Mississippi.
Right now, next Thursday, we're all going. The Bird, as they call it, is the preferred hangout of anyone with an easygoing spirit. And I found that out because the line, but by the time we got there, the line was out the door.
Really?
Golf carts everywhere. Look,
park your cart.
Golf cart
at the Bird.
Bonanza. And they were parking and people were happily waiting in line. It wasn't like, let's go somewhere else. They stood in line. They were like, hey, this is the best place to go for.
That is a sign of a good place.
For breakfast. If you're at Ocean Springs, John and I went to a wonderful bagel breakfast stop called Lil Market. And I didn't suddenly develop a lisp. It's Lil, L-I-L, Market. Low Market in Ocean Springs. Okay. Incredible bagels. It's a wonderful breakfast spot. We got there in the rain, and people were still just driving up and hopping out going, hey, man, this is the place to be for in this part of town for breakfast and stuff. So
did you get an everything bagel?
Yeah.
You did?
An everything bagel with
schmear?
Sausage. No, don't say schmear. Such a horrible word. But sausage. Then we went.
So you got an everything bagel sandwich or just a bagel and sausage?
No. It's all on one sandwich.
Okay. Well, you didn't say it was a sandwich.
No, I've said, okay. It's a bagel sandwich. Also, we went to Lazy Magnolia Brewing. The magnolia tree is the state tree of Mississippi. So you're going to find lots of businesses with magnolia in the name. It's actually the state tree of two different states.
Is it?
Louisiana and Mississippi.
I didn't know that. The house I grew up in, we had a big magnolia tree in the front yard.
No, there you go.
Yeah. Weird connection, but
Lazy Magnolia Brewing. Thank you so much to their GM, Christopher Maros, who gave us a tour on his day off. He came in and gave us a tour and just gave us booze and let us walk around a machine-operated floor, which was tons of fun. Him and his wonderful dog. I think her name was Bella.
But that's the place you said had the Southern Pecan beer?
The Southern Pecan beer. That's what they are known for, famous for in Mississippi, and it's delicious.
Sounds delicious.
More than that, I like that they're ciders.
Oh,
they
and
had
you're
some
not
hard
a big
ciders.
cider
I'm not a
person.
cider person, and I love. In fact, I bought a 6-pack of their ciders, and then later forgot about it and gave it to John on his way home because I couldn't take it on the plane. So I missed that opportunity. But they have some beautiful ciders as well. We also went to Tom's Extreme Pizzeria in Ocean Springs, which is where you're going to find a very famous but kind of off-putting, if you're not used to it, selection of French dressing pizza.
I've never heard of this.
I had never heard of it either until apparently the Secret Coast is the home of French dressing pizza, which they call the Mid-America Hugo. The Hugo sauce is a honey French dressing baked in, swirled on this pizza classic. It's a tribute to Hugo's in Biloxi, where French dressing and pizza first met for the first time.
So instead of like pizza sauce, it's
Like
French
dressing.
French salad dressing.
French dressing.
French dressing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds wild. It's just
It does.
it tastes a little bit sweeter than typical like marinara and that kind. But
okay.
yeah, I mean, you could get it regular with cheese and pizza. I mean, pizza,
Interesting.
pepperoni, different things of that nature. At first, it's a little like, what is this? But we end up eating the whole pizza. John and I did because it tastes really, really good.
You just
and
keep going back for more? You can't stop?
Just can't stop, won't stop.
But wasn't this the place you said they gave you like a map and there were like pizzas from different regions, basically?
Yeah. They have pizza toppings from different regions, like representing that region. So we tried a couple of different ones, like the New Orleans, which was barbecue sauce, crawfish tails, bacon, andouille sausage, I think red bell peppers, and grilled onion, all on one pizza. It was amazing. Probably my new favorite pizza right there.
Really?
And we also got a big Texas. Of course, we had to pepperoni
yeah.
and ham and Canadian bacon. Basically, just all the meats and everything. But I really loved the New Orleans pizza. Crawfish and andouille sausage. Come on, man. That's good.
It sounds like just my favorite barbecue chicken pizza, but you trade the chicken for crawfish.
Talking all about this. Man, I got the sweats going on right now. Boy, I saw breathing heavy into this microphone. Just shipped me off to fat camp. He goes, man, something wrong with me. I also went to Fields. Wow. Fields Steak and Oyster Bar in Bay St. Louis. Again, Fields is right behind the Pearl. Like, I was actually planning on going to a different place, and they looked a little busy. So I stepped around the corner to what seemed less busy restaurant called Fields Steak and Oyster Bar, and it was wonderful. I had alligator oysters, which was alligator on top of some fried oysters, or not fried, baked oysters with a pork chop and bacon, macaroni, and cheese.
Aside from the alligator oysters, which I have to say does not sound that appealing.
Oh, no.
Everything
it was
else sounds good.
So good. So good. Alligator on oysters. Get out of here, man.
Fried alligator?
Yeah.
Does it taste like chicken?
Oh, it tastes wonderful. It's nice and seasoned. There was also the Shed Barbecue and Blues joint. This is where you get your barbecue, and you're going to get your blues music on Friday and Saturday night. And it's like set up like a junkyard. You're going to think, oh my God, what in the South is this? But by the time you finish your ribs, you're going to be.
Is this where you sent me the picture of the barbecue plate from?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
We're at that stage in our marriage where we just send each other pictures of our food.
A couple of late night spots. The Julep Lounge. That's where Elvis used to hang out back in the day as well. The Julep Lounge, the Red Apple Lounge, and Rags to Riches. Special thanks to Chris Humber and Nikki Moon, and of course Jordan McManus from Lloyd Hammond Group for setting this all up. I appreciate you guys. Coastal Mississippi, put it on the map for you. Summer travels. All right. Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you guys next time.